we are group 6 and we're gonna present in topic factor influence the sickness absence of worker in Thailand. So for our introduction, the common thing that people will getting sickness, and when the people getting sickness, we want to know the cause of the sickness absence of worker in Thailand also. And from our study, we can learn that the sickness absence have negative relationship with the income earning productivity, or we know as well as productivity of the workers. And the last one is sickness absence can reduce our productivity. So that's why we raise this topic. Next is we're gonna move to objective, scope, and benefit. First of all, I'm gonna talk about the objective of our projects. So to identify the factor that affect the decision that make employee make decision to have the sickness absence in Thailand. So the benefit, we hope that we're gonna give the benefit to both of the company and government to have reduce the risk of unemployment rate and improvement of the productivity of Thailand and output also, and set up some policy to reduce and support the unemployment rate. Our scope is the working person who working between 15 years old until 60 years old. Next is literature review. Our literature review, we're gonna find the paper that relate to our topic, that the sickness absence factor that influence in Thailand. And we gonna have overall total 14 variables that have five frequency variable that adopted. And the first one is health problem, gender, and age. Actually, we have more about 5 variables that's significant. That is health problem, age, gender, marital status, and physical activity. But 3 of all of this is the 5 frequency form we have compared with all of 14 variables. And from the literature review say that mostly they use to compare the sickness absence and variable by Poisson regression, multiple regression, and multivariate. Moreover, we have more literature to support of 3 of these variables that have significant is the Bryan literature. They say that the mental health and physical health have effect on the sickness absence also. They say that mental health have more significant largely than physical health. Moreover, they found that people who are work in the public sector have more percentage to have more sick leave day.
Now when you are aware of the literature review, and now we are looking at the conceptual framework. For conceptual framework, we can divide into 4 types, which are demographic, physical environment based, health related based, and mental environment based. For demographic, there are gender, age, wage, marital status, and tenure. And those which are workspace, environment, working hour, working sector, and distance from home to workspace, which are physical environment based. For health related, smoke, BMI, sleep hour, and alcohol. And the last is mental environment, is psychiatrist and physical health. Next, we were talking about the explanation of each variable. The number of days that are absent from work due to the sickness. It is represent the number of days that our respondent absent from work due to the sickness. It is dependent variable. For the working sector, different occupations have different type of work, workspace, and environment, and leave criteria. For the second point, we don't have leave criteria. Beyond 2021, we found that in the public sector have higher percentage of sickness absence, but we think in the opposite way that in public sector should have less sickness absence because they are sicker. Next is the distance from work, the distance from home to workspace, alcohol, and BMI. For physical environment, we can divide into 5 ranks, which are bad, very bad, moderate, good, and very good. For physical environment, the example are smell, clean, and noise. For our hypothesis, in physical environment, for moderate, physical environment will have less day than very bad physical environment. Next is the mental environment. Mental environment also divided into 5 then, which are bad, very bad, moderate, good, and very good. For the hypothesis, people who are moderate in mental environment will have less day than people who are very bad in mental environment. And the example of mental environment are boss and correlated.
This is a proportion of each level of our sample. First, gender, the highest proportion is male at 58%, followed by female and LGBTQ+. Next one is marital status. The highest proportion is single, followed by married and divorced. For the working sector, the highest proportion is the private sector, followed by public sector at 40.9%, and the rest is self-employed and state enterprise. Environment and mental environment, we based on the Richter scale. And for physical environment, the highest proportion of our respondents said that they face a good physical environment, followed by the second largest proportion is moderate, and followed by really good, bad, and really bad respectively. For mental environment, most of our respondents said that they have good mental environment, followed by those who say moderate at 28.6%, and the rest is really good, bad, and really bad respectively. For the monthly earning, the highest proportion is those who earn around 15,000 to 30,000, and the second largest is those who earn around 30,000 to 45,000, and followed by this one, followed by those who say that they earn below 15,000, and the rest is has a proportion that not exceeds 10%. We run two model of multiple linear regression. On the right hand side, we use a normal standard error, and on the left hand side, we use robust standard error. And it can be seen that some for variable T stack has changed. Some has changed from significant to insignificant, and some change from insignificant to insignificant. This is also that we detect the problem of heteroscedasticity, and we have no remedy to solve this problem because normally robust standard error used to solve the problem of heteroscedasticity, which in that case we use Rush-Pagan test or white test to detect heteroscedasticity. But in this case we detect by using the robust standard error. So violating assumption MLR5 homoscedasticity doesn't mean that our result is biased because we doesn't violate the assumption of MLR1 to 4. Violating assumption MLR5 is just made our model thought to be the best linear unbiased estimator. This is our result that we use, the model that we use, robust standard error. The first one is R squared. Our R squared is 0.1498. It can be interpreted that only 14.98% of our dependent variable can be explained by independent variable. And the first variable that's significant is working sector. We use self-employed as a base variable. And public sector is the other one sector that's significant in this model. It's significant at 5% significant level, and the coefficient is minus 2.47. It can be interpreted that those who working in public sector tend to have 2.47 days sick leave less than our base variable, which is self-employed. This result is contrast with our literature review because our literature review said that people who are working in public sector tend to have more sick leave than any other sector. But this result fit with our hypothesis because we think that self-employed would have the highest sick leave more than any other sector. For the analysis is that because of public sector in Thailand, they have the analysis is that because of public sector in Thailand, they have more strict regulation of about sick leave more than any other sector, and their organization have worked more systematically than any other sector. So this is why they tend to have less sick leave than those who are self-employed.
So I will talk about the social benefit and business benefit. In the part of social benefit, all the knowledge is regarding the factor that improving the sick leave is very spending. So if we can reduce this spending, it can be we have the better community and the productive time will make we have the expansion of productivity and effective GDP. So we have hope that this report is where a part of contribute the government to conduct the policy to improve the well-being of employees and the welfare of society and reduce the financial expense of the sick leave. So the next one is the business benefit. This report is very beneficial for firm because if firm have a higher number of the sick leave, it can make the firm lose productivity. And if firm know that which factor that affect the sick leave, firm can solve this problem directly to the point and improve their productivity because the productivity is very directly relating to how engaged a person with their work. So in the conclusion, we run in about methodology. We run two multiple linear regression. That's the first one is the normal standard error and the second one is robust standard error. And the reason for this is we have the heteroscedastic problem that means like valid MLR5 but not valid MLR1 to 4 is mean that this estimator is not the base linear unbiased estimator. So we have the significant variable in three variables. The first variable is the public sector. The reason for it is the public people who work in the public sector tend to have the less the sick leave that's 3 days than the people who work in the self-employed because the self-employed is the base of this one dummy variable. So this 3 days make up the loss of GDP and the productivity by 1.24% of the self-employed. And the people that answer this question have worked in the public sector. So in the conclusion, we run in about methodology. We run two multiple linear regression. That's the first one is the normal standard error and the second one is robust standard error. And the reason for this is we have the heteroscedastic problem that means like valid MLR5 but not valid MLR1 to 4 is mean that this estimator is not the base linear unbiased estimator. So we have the significant variable in three variables. The first variable is the public sector. The reason for it is the public people who work in the public sector tend to have the less the sick leave that's 3 days than the people who work in the self-employed because the self-employed is the base of this one dummy variable. So this 3 days make up the loss of GDP and the productivity by 1.24% of the self-employed. And the people that answer this question have worked in the public sector to 191 people and conduct in 41.08% and which are the men and women at 166 people and 23 people in the women. So and the range between people that answer this question have a range of age in 24 to 30 years. So the next one is the second variable that's significant, that is the physical and mental development. The group that have a higher sick leave is the group that who answer they have the both very bad physical and mental development, and this variable have the people who answer in physical and mental development moderate is a base of this dummy variable. So the people they have the moderate in both physical development and mental development 18 days. So these 18 days will lose the productivity and loss the GDP by 7.44%. And the second group is the group that have the least sick leave. That is the group that answer that they have the very good physical development and moderate mental development. So this group that have the answer that they have the really good physical development and moderate mental development have a less sick leave 4 days than the people who have the both moderate physical and mental development. And those 4 days have the increase in productivity by 1.7% and increase the productivity by in the same proportion.
For the limitation, in this study there are 4 main limitations. From the first one is the shortage of research paper on the topic of mental environment that can affect on the sickness absence. So we are lacking the supporting literature review to support and to more understand about it. And the second one is from the last sample size of from the last sample size, so we cannot explain indirectly in person. So there are maybe some respondents who misunderstand about the questionnaire. And the third one is there are maybe some fake about the certificate that we cannot approve that whether it is all true or not. And the last one is we are still the student and we can have a limit of experience and have a limit of knowledge that can more expect about the working.
The policy suggestion will be conducted for both public sector and private sector. Regarding from the result of the regression, it's found that 2 factors that affects and can be solved by the policy, which are physical environment and mental environment. And these 2 factors have an important effect to the sick leave. And the private sector for the first policy is physical environment. Firm will be conduct and the policy that have more activity like to connect each other to the teamwork and in the workplace by setting up the sport day, Songkran days or the New Year's Day. Like these activities will create the unities in the companies and make everyone know each other better. And moving on to the mental environment, the first one is about the workshop. Like to classify the workshop. The workshop is to setting up the workshop and training for employees by let them write or comment about the situation and the mental environment that they face on that time. So firm can reduce and control the situation immediately. And we having the good communication in the workplace can have business and organization to run in an effective ways. And moving on to the announced culture, before the candidates getting in the firm, the firms or HR should tell the cultures of the firm because everyone have different personalities and characteristics. So if the candidate doesn't match to the cultures of the firms or have different expectations, the candidates have the right to choose before they're getting up to the firms. And for the last policy is accept the varieties. For example, of the varieties is the transgender, nationalism, skin colors, and religions. Because respect other life, no matter what, if they have different nationalism, and the acceptance can be the things that start from yourself. For the public sectors, these 2 factors that affect to the sick leave in the long term is may affect to the productivities. And the government should set the people and organization to have an extra line to the firms once times per year. And we have these policies from the role models of the accounting checks every year. And we think that this policy is possible to happen. And the government work to invest on these policies because if we have people and organizations to go and check up and set the environment to be good all the time, such as clean air, appropriate bathrooms, and facilities as appropriate. For example, if the government can reduce the noise, it can create more productivities and the employees can reduce the stress. So on these policies, it will create under the budget of the government and it will increase the productivities and welfare to the societies.
Yes, it's our group members. Thank you.